Welcome to our Alchemex webinar. Thanks for joining us. Today we're looking at management pack consolidations. Our agenda for today is to have a look at pick lists, management pack consolidations, and then union reports. What is a consolidation? Our objective is to combine the financial information from multiple company databases into a single management pack. For this exercise, I will be sourcing data from multiple generic SQL databases, but much the same logic will apply across all other database structures. Consolidation options. Consolidations can take various cumbersome forms. But with Alchemex, you have a choice of various consolidation options. The Picklist command is a versatile tool to consolidate like data. If data is too dissimilar, look to creating union reports. In the diagram that is on your screen right now, you'll see that at the top I have three databases, database 1, 5, and database N. For consolidation purposes using a pick list, I take data from all three databases and consolidate it into one container, which in turn goes into one report. And once the data goes to Excel, everything is put onto one worksheet in Excel. Pick lists come in various forms. You have a pick list on its own, which selects one database from a range of databases. A pick list A, where the A stands for all, will select all databases in the specified range. A pick list M allows you to choose multiple databases, but not necessarily all. And a pick list DSN allows you to connect to different DSN sources on your connections. If we have a look at pick list syntax, the first two options here are purely syntax and it is explained further. When you're creating a pick list, you always start with the word pick list, and it's either pick list or pick list M, A, or DSN. You then have your prompt text, which could be select your data, where is your data, choose your data. From there, you enter a description for the data, and then the location of the data. And you continue to do that for however many databases it is that you would like to consolidate. The syntax is exactly the same for a pick list M, other than you adding an M, an A, or a DSN. If you have a look at pick list, where is your data? The where is your data is the prompt text above. Take special note of the fact that the greater than and smaller than signs have been removed. You then say it's my office data and its location is Filofax database. Remember, we're talking about SQL databases here. Online is the Filofax 2008 data, and at home I have my Filofax 2007 data. It's important to note that there is no semicolon after the last database entry. There are also some modifications that are needed within your management pack for ease of use. You are able to modify your management pack to include your company details so that when you consolidate your data next to your account number, you could have your company name. Information drawn from Picklist databases will be placed under one another during extraction, but it could be difficult to identify what information came from which database. Some minor changes to the expressions in the container will help overcome this problem. Before we move on to union reports, I am going to launch my Alchemex administrator, and I'm going to demonstrate how to create a Picklist connection. I go and find my ODBC driver for SQL Server connection. I right click and I add a connection. I give the connection a name. I'm going to call this my ACPAC Picklist connection. For my server name, I need to go to my Start, to my SQL Server Management Studio, and from my logon screen I'm able to see what my SQL Server name is. So I Control C on that to copy it, cancel the login, close my server down, go back to my Alchemex administrator and Control V my server name in. Guys, if you know your server name, you can type it in. It is easier though to copy and paste, then you know that it is absolutely correct. I then tab into the database name portion, and here I'm going to select Add. So I currently have created a connection, but under database name I have no database name. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to decide, do I want a Picklist M, A, or a plain Picklist? For today we're going to go with a Picklist M. So I'm going to begin to type in Picklist M, the equal sign, and I'm going to then say select your data, semicolon. I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint slideshow and just make sure that we have the correct syntax. So I have Picklist, where is your data? Now I need to go and put in the location of my data. So if I now go back, where is my data? I've already said that I'm connected to that SQL server. So now I can just say ACPAC demo data, and that is called ACPAC sample data. And my second database is ACPAC demo 1, and that is called ACPAC sample data duplication. Note, I'm not putting a semicolon after that, and I'm selecting apply. I'm not sure if this works, so I'm going to right click and check test the connection. It will ask me to select which database I'd like to test. It tells me that it will cache that database for any further testing during this session. I agree to that. And it tells me that my connection has succeeded. So currently I have a connection to my two databases, but no containers. I'm now going to go into my Report Manager module. I have already created a folder called the ACPAC Picklist demonstration. Underneath that, I have no reports currently. I'm going to right click on that and select to import a report. I go and search for the report that I need to import. Select it, and at import it asks me what connection would I like this report to run on. I'm going to choose my Picklist connection, and which folder should it go in? My Picklist demonstration folder, and I select import. It will run now through the motions of importing that report, and I select OK on the succeeded message. From here I'm now able to double click on my folder, select my management pack, and select to run it. Notice when I run the report, I'm asked, do I want both databases or just one of them? That is because I used the functionality Picklist M. Had I used Picklist A, I would have had to run the report for both. I wouldn't have had a choice. So I'm selecting both, and I select OK. It asks me for a financial year, the start period and the end period, and I select OK. The report now runs. You'll see that it does multiple connections. It connects to the one database and then to the next database as it renders the report. Once the report is run, I'm now going to right click and unhide my sheet 1. In sheet 1, I'm now going to sort my data by column A. The reason I've done that is to demonstrate that my accounts have come in twice. So I have this one account from the first database and the second account from the second database. If I then go and have a look at my lookup sheet, and again I select the data and I choose to sort it, again you will see that the data appears twice, which is exactly the result that we were looking for. I'm now able to return to my menu sheet and generate an income statement. For today's demonstration, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back to my Alchemex Administrator module, double click on the connection. You'll see now that I have two containers, not reports, underneath that connection. Under the Management Pack container, you'll see that there's a field called account_company ID. If you have a look at that, that already has had modifications done to it to include the company ID. So you are able to rather use that field than the account number field in your Management Pack. That field will then show you the concatenation between the account number and the company name. Let's go back to my PowerPoint slide and let's have a look at that syntax again. You'll see that we used Picklist M, which allowed me to choose multiple databases. Moving on from here, you'll see again that I had two databases which I joined and I put into a single database. You'll see now on the slide that's present, the Union Reports Explained says to you that if you have very different data, you should use Union Reports, not Picklist. A Union Report allows you to create a container per connection, so you have a connection to each database, a container per connection, and then a report per container. You're then able to merge all of this data into different worksheets in Excel and use Excel functionality to consolidate your data. Remember, for a little bit more information on Excel or how to use Excel better, we run our Excel on Steroids courses. Workshop 1 is managing worksheets and formula. Workshop 2 is managing data lists and macros. And Workshop 3 is pivot tables and pivot charts. If you'd like to contact us, you can do so. Our website is www.alchemex.com. For any sales information, it's sales@alchemex.com. For support, it's support@alchemex.com. Our BI community and our online training academy. You can also find our knowledge base, free trial software download, and customer references, and sign up for tips and tricks newsletters at www.alchemex.com. If you found this webinar useful, see our webinar schedule again at www.alchemex.com and register for more webinars. Thank you so much for your time and have a great day.